Hello everybody. I wanted to make a video about a recent trip that I took to Long Island to do some record shopping. Well, actually I was there on business, but I had a little bit of time where I could pop into a store and check it out, and the store is called Record Stop, and I'd like to give them a shout out because I thought they were a really fantastic store. They had a really nicely stocked supply of records and CDs, and I probably spent about 2 hours there looking around and found some really interesting items. So I wanted to share those with you real quick. First of all, they gave me this really fantastic bag. This is like a nice canvas bag that has the Record Stop logo on it. It says established 1974. This is probably the nicest bag I've ever gotten at a record store. Alright, so first off, start off with one of my cheaper purchases there, which was Oscar Peterson and Clark Terry on Pablo, a jazz record. I've seen this on websites for some of the worst artwork composition ever, and I thought I really like Oscar Peterson a lot, and I've been looking out for this record, and I found it pretty cheap. I think it was about $6 that I paid for it, so I was really happy to find that. Okay, next up, somebody had just traded in a collection at the store that consisted of some really nice 80s albums, and I collect XTC 12-inch singles, so I found the 12-inch for Wake Up in really great condition. It does have the track Wake Up from the Big Express, and it also has Take This Town, which is a B-side, and Manus on Parole, Homo Safari Series number 4, which is also a B-side. But then the actual B-side of this 12-inch has Making Plans for Nigel, Sergeant Rock, and Senses Working Overtime, which is just kind of an odd random selection of songs. It doesn't indicate on here that these are live performances. On the EPs I've found by XTC that have live performances, the music is fantastic. So I'm hoping that maybe these will be live tracks, but they probably aren't. And even if they're not, I'm still happy to have it. So I collect all these and always on the lookout for them. Okay, next up, saw OMD recently in concert a couple of months ago, and this is an album by them that I did not have, English Electric. It's still in the shrink wrap. Has this really nice die-cut cover. And it also comes with the album on CD. So I know I've heard this album at some point. I just can't really remember it that well. But I was glad to find a copy of that. Always welcome OMD on vinyl, and I'm trying to rebuild my collection of OMD on vinyl. So that one worked out really well in that regard. All right, this was one of the more exciting items that I found. They had a couple of Sex Pistols bootlegs in the store. This one is called Pirates of Destiny, and it is a gatefold. Has some really cool photographs inside, and I especially like the photograph on the back, where they're all seated at a cafe somewhere. I'm not quite sure what's on this. It looks like it's just a random assortment of some music and narration, just taken from different locations when the Sex Pistols were on tour. And one of the cool things about this record is that it's on pink swirl vinyl. Looks sort of like bubblegum. So I'm curious to hear this one. Hopefully it's a decent sound quality. I'm a big Kraftwerk fan, and I found this album, which actually is a bootleg, and the store had a couple of these in stock. They're part of a series. This one is called Kraftwerk Oscillator. It's got really nicely conceived cover art. And this one is on gold vinyl, as you can see. One of the others that I looked at was on red vinyl, and another I think was on green vinyl. They cover different periods in the Kraftwerk catalog. This one seems to be mostly drawn from songs from around the computer world period, but It's also got a Man Machine remix and some other early stuff. Kahutek, Kometa Melody #1 and 2. So I'm really excited to play this and find out if the fidelity is good on it. But it's got some pretty rare tracks and it looks very interesting. Finally, from that store, the last thing that I picked up there was probably the coolest item. And this was an XTC 7-inch single of No Thugs in Our House. And as you can see on the front, it says XTC Theater. It's got kind of a little gatefold cover. And you can actually, it has these little cutouts of characters from the song. So you can make your own little XTC theatrical presentation as the song is playing, which I haven't done yet. But some of these have little, they all have little sticks. And some of the ones are broken off, so I'm going to have to tape those back together and maybe reinforce them with something like a tongue depressor, I don't know. At any rate, I thought this was a great single. It's got the lyrics to the song on the back, and it's just one of the coolest little 7-inch single packaging concepts that I've seen in a while, and I'm a huge XTC fan, so I've never seen this before, and this was just a really nice pickup. And then last but not least, at another store I went to, Big Jim's Records, which was near Westchester. Actually, it was in Hawthorne, their flagship store. I found this Happy Flowers LP, I Crush Bozo, which I have been looking for a long time. Don't have any Happy Flowers on vinyl. It's a Homestead pressing. I think it might be the second printing because I think the originals were all on red vinyl. At any rate, I really like Happy Flowers a lot. If you've never heard their music, they're hard to describe, just kind of infantile, crazy, loud, stupid music, and I like it a lot. So that's all for this episode, and I hope to have another video pretty soon because I'm going to go to the Alachua County Book and Record Show in next weekend, hopefully. So if I find some good stuff up there, I'll post another video. And I hope everybody has good luck out there in the field looking for vinyl.